Literally, a dolphin coming to you and nodding, and you nod it back, and he starts playing like that. It doesn't get much cooler than that.
Yeah.
It's like you literally wait for them on the surface, and they come and breathe this close to you, and then you nod at them like, "Are you ready to go?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm ready to go." And you both go down together and twirl and play together.
Today we have Miki and Carlo Gavazzi on the podcast. I'm super pumped to talk to you because for me, your lifestyle is like super aspiring. I feel like in another life I would want to do something similar, and I feel like others are as well. But not many people like know exactly like how to live that lifestyle or know people doing it. So it's really exciting for me to have y'all on here. Can y'all just start out by introducing yourself? Maybe like a little bit how you met, what you did before you got into free diving, and then kind of where y'all are now, what y'all do day to day life, just so the audience can get to know you. And then we'll dive into the rest of everything.
Of course. Thank you so much for having us here. It's super exciting. And we're happy to talk a little bit about what we do. So, yeah, to start it off, basically, we've always been like we've always loved the ocean to an extent. I mean, we grew up in Italy and both of us always spent our summers in Sardinia. So it was always like we were always excited to go there. But neither of us had ever done any kind of like snorkeling or free diving or scuba diving or anything underwater until 2021, which is when we kind of not really randomly, but kind of randomly signed up to a free diving course. We had been doing some surfing until then, and
Very beginner surf.
very beginner surfing. And I was getting very scared of the waves and of being under the water for a long time. So I'm like, I want to learn how to hold my breath so at least I feel more safe. And let's try free diving. And that's what we did.
Yeah, she convinced me to try free diving. I really didn't want to. It felt like a boring thing. Like, why should I do it? I feel okay with surfing. I really like surfing. I wanna do this. And we took our first free diving course in the summer of 2021. And since then, I probably surfed twice and free dived, I don't know, half the days since then. So yeah, it's become a huge part of our lives now. We are freediving instructors, advanced scuba divers, and what we do is basically we teach people to enjoy the fun side of the ocean as much as they can.
Yeah, we'd love to share it and basically spend as much time as we can underwater. So
How fun. It seems like y'all have it made. Like, I remember when I was in Barcelona, I went on just like a normal like kayaking tour, and I remember thinking like how fun the instructor was, and I was like, I can't believe this is his life every day. It's like he's literally, and it's not even that you just like free dive every day with yourselves, like you also are doing it with other people, and like a lot of times they're experiencing it for the first time, and that joy is like something you can't replace for the first time. And I just think that's awesome what you do. It sounds so fun.
that's definitely one of the things we love the most, and one of the reasons why we do group trips. Because we love to like share the emotions of first timers, people who come to the Maldives for the first time or see like a coral reef for the first time or play with a dolphin, and they're always like so emotional about it, and it's contagious, and it's really one of the nicest things about sharing.
Yeah, it brings us back to our first emotions as well. I mean, we only started a little ago, and we remember very vividly, and still our first dives are some of the best to this day, not because we saw anything in particular, but just because
Oh yeah, 100%.
the emotions of breathing underwater for the first time.
My first scuba dive was like the best ever, and I saw, I think, a hermit crab and a starfish. That's it.
Oh, yeah, wait, I would love to hear about that actually. What y'all's first dives were, like the story behind it.
So we went to Lanzarote, which is the Canary Islands,
The year before that.
the year before that. So we weren't divers, we were just snorkelers. And we were looking at activities that you could do in Lanzarote. And one of that is that there is an underwater museum. So there's a few statues at like 12 meters deep on a sandy bottom. So, you know, if you are a scuba diver, that's fairly like it's as easy as it gets. And so I'm like, you know, there's this cool activity, we could do it. And she was like, 12 meters, are you insane? Like, I'm never gonna go that deep. It's super dangerous. Like, it was the dangerous side, the deep side, not the fact that it was freezing cold, because Atlantic waters is not warm or anything. It's just the dangerous side. Okay, so this is the starting point.
Fast forward a year later, and we're doing, well, first the freediving course and then the scuba. And I don't know, we kind of got, so the freediving lesson was amazing. Like, it was like literal, like, love at first sight. We loved it. It was so fun. It was kind of like unlocking a new level of something we kind of had already been doing, sort of. Like, it's not like we had been freediving, but we were looking at the seafloor a lot when we were in summer, when we were on a boat or whatever. And it was just unlocking all the skills we needed to get there. And it felt super easy and super instinctive. And of course, the challenges came. But in the beginning, it was like, wow, amazing.
Yeah, especially freediving level 1, it's a fairly easy.
There's a lot of theory, which really unlocks a lot of concepts that help you make a big leap in terms of what you can do.
But it feels like 10 meters feels like a lot, when you freedive, or a minute and a half of breath holds feel like a lot, but there's not really much training involved in getting there. Yeah. It's just realizing what you can do and adjusting a couple of things in a technique, and you could really unlock a new level in your life, in your sea exploration.
Yeah. And so once we did that, we were talking to the dive center, and they were like, yeah, this is awesome. You should do the next level and, well, the next lesson and whatever. But you should also try scuba diving. Like, why haven't you tried scuba diving yet? It's much easier. And I'm like, how is that easier? Like, it looks like you have a lot of gear. It's super complicated, super dangerous. I don't want to do that. And they're like, what? No, it's like freediving is hard. Scuba diving is easy. And I was like, what? You serious? Yeah, you just gotta breathe. That's what they told me. And I'm like, okay, maybe we could try. And yeah, I will never forget that the first breath I took underwater. Oh my God, it was like, what is happening? Like, how? and yeah, I just remember this red starfish right there. And I was like, it was very close to me. And I kneeled down and I was underwater and I was breathing, and I was
like the surface.
Yeah, the surface was just above me, but I was under and I was breathing, and I could see the fish moving around like really close to me. I was like, this is insane. And yeah, so it's been like an escalation from there. I don't know. I guess it was the same for you.
Yeah, I did it. I did try once before that. It was like years ago, before I met her with my dad, just not a proper course or anything, just trying to breathe on the water. So I didn't have that first breath during that lesson, but still we went deeper than I ever had, and the whole thing like just felt very, very cool.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I'm curious, can you talk about like a little bit about the technique? Because I agree with you, where I feel like, well, one, I feel like scuba diving would be really, really hard, but I also think free diving would be just as hard, because like I guess I don't know the technique, but it's interesting that you say it's really like easy to learn that. But like, how is it? Like, I don't know. Whenever I like go snorkeling, it feels like the worst feeling ever when I go like down below, and then I'm like, I freak out and panic. Like, how does it work where you can free dive? Like, I'm really curious about that.
Have you tried like proper free diving, proper scuba diving, or not?
No, I really, really want to. I want to get trained in scuba diving.
Right.
Free diving like makes me so nervous, but I'm so like curious about it. I love to snorkel though. I just get so nervous about like the breathing part.
Of course.
Makes sense. So in general, one of the questions we get asked the most is, should we start with scuba diving or free diving? Like, if you're getting into the underwater world and you're into it for the exploration. And the answer depends on who you are. Meaning, if you are scared of the ocean, like if you are, you're intimidated, you're kind of claustrophobic, and those things relate to you, I would start with free diving in a cool place that you feel safe, maybe even a pool, where you hone the skills and you hone you
become more comfortable underwater.
You don't feel the panic.
If you can get to 10 meters on your own, like on a breath hold, without assistance on a breath hold, then you feel very confident when you're 10 meters with with a regulator and you're breathing in scuba. So that's why we usually recommend free diving first.
Yeah.
Because it makes scuba so much easier.
At least the level 1. Yeah, that gives you that
Yeah.
confidence in yourself and in your body and in your mind to be calm when you're underwater. And the skills that you need with freediving are mainly equalization, which means equalizing your ears mainly. So if you feel the ears hurting when you go deeper, it's normal, meaning they just do the equalization, which means in very simple terms, just pressing your nose, closing your nose and blowing from your nose, which equalizes the volume of air and the pressure inside your ears so they don't hurt anymore. And so once you unlock that, the main discomfort of going down goes away. Many people don't even know this is like possible. Yeah. We get comments on like, how can you sustain the pressure? Like I go 2 meters deep and I'm dying and you go 40, like you're crazy. No, I'm not superhuman. I just do it.
Right.
I just equalize them so I don't feel the pain. Like it should be painless.
Yeah, interesting.
And I also think another thing with the first lessons of free diving is that you learn what your body naturally does when it goes underwater, and you learn how safe it is to do certain things. And all of like this information helps you so that then when you're in the water and you're trying to go down to 5 or 10 or whatever meters, it doesn't like it removes a little bit of the fear, and it just gives you that little bit extra relaxation, which is all you need to be able to go a little bit more. Because ultimately, freediving is all about being relaxed. So the more relaxed you are, the deeper you can go. And yeah, the more you know about yourself and what you can do, the more you feel like you can go down.
Yeah. In terms of breath hold,
And just like learning also like a basic duck dive, or that makes such a big difference.
duck dive is where you leave the surface and go like a duck under.
Cool. And so for y'all, when y'all go on like the trips, for example, and you're going with people, are you going and like showing them like different wildlife, or are you more so just like teaching them the
Depends on the
technique
trip.
sort of thing?
Generally, our trips are more focused on exploration. And so we kind of assess the level maybe before. We have an online course that we can give to people, breath holding online course that we can give to people so they are more prepared when they get there. But we do run workshops or general like one-on-one help if somebody is struggling with their duck dive, with their breath hold, with their equalization, whatever it is, whichever part of freediving they're missing or not, honing perfectly, we can help out when we're there.
Yeah, we usually do. I mean, the kind of people we get is usually a mix of like super beginners, just snorkelers, and then also like advanced freedivers. And people are generally comfortable. Like we always ask them to be comfortable with their levels so that they can enjoy the trip. And they're generally comfortable and enjoy like pushing a little bit. And we're happy to give that and give a little bit extra knowledge or a little bit extra feedback that helps. But it's not usually a full-on course. We've done one group trip that had an actual like level 1 course included, but it was just one.
That is so fun. And I'm also curious, like, so y'all have I saw on your like Instagram, you'll have so many different like things you do. Like, first of all, we'll get into it. Like your short film, your social media is amazing. Y'all do the group trips, your instructors, you have courses. Like, what does your day-to-day life look like? And like, how do you manage everything? I'm a little so curious. I'm like, I'm just trying to keep up with like 3 things at once. Like, I don't know how you'll do it. It's awesome though. It's really inspiring.
Well, thank you.
Let's divide the category in when we're home and when we're traveling.
Right.
So when we're traveling, we try to film / create content / be in the water at least one every 2 days. Like proper excursion, not just chilling in the water for half hour.
But it's usually more than that.
Like
we try to get a lot of off days, like days all out of the water to be able to work, like, and put in the hours we need on a laptop. But I mean, when you're traveling, it's a little hard because you want to do stuff, like everybody's out and you don't really want to stay home. A good balance is either like one day fully in the water and one day off, or like mornings in the water and afternoons.
Yeah. And
that's like the best thing. When we can do afternoons off and mornings in the water, that's like perfect. And that's what we also do when we're in Sardinia, which is like our second home base, I would call it. When we're there, it's basically mornings in the water and afternoons are on the laptop. And then when we're home, it's like laptop,
Yeah.
laptop.
When we're home,
Yeah, it's like crazy catching up to stuff.
80-hour work week, no weekend, nothing. Like we're trying to slow down now, but in the first years, especially, like there's no, you're effectively running a startup, so there's no time off. But
I won't
you don't
complain.
want it.
Like we have our own hours, so literally, although we will work maybe till 10 p.m. on some evenings, we can also always say, yeah, tomorrow morning I need to go do this or that, whatever, with my mom or with my friends or with whoever's around, and we can like kind of usually fit that in.
I forgot that I didn't ask her like how you met, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh,
course.
of course. Well, we met in Sardinia. And literally, I think it's fair to say that his dad was the wingman. Yeah, basically he saw me and he kind of introduced us. And it's all happening in this like little village in Sardinia where my family has a little boat and his dad works and owns the harbor. So it was kind of like at the end of the season, it's end of summer. I was like helping my family put their boat like away for winter. And yeah, his dad is like, "Oh, I have a son. You want to meet him?" I'm like, "Sure." Whatever. And yeah, he came down, we met, and he's like, "You want to go out tonight?" Because I was leaving like within like 48 hours or something. And he's like, "You want to go out tonight?" And I'm like, "Sure." And yeah, the evening ended up that he took me out on a boat to look at this on his family's boat to look at the stars. So that was very romantic. And yeah, he won me over pretty quickly.
Well, what a proper first date. That's awesome. I'm really excited to hear about the stories like in under the water. So when you're like, I don't know, if you'll have to say like one of your pocket memories or something from your free dives, whether it's like on a group trip just together, is there some like memories that you'll have that you'll just feel like y'all will be talking about forever that happened, or like a really cool like marine life interaction you had, or whatever comes to mind? I'm not sure.
So free diving. All right, free diving.
Well, I think probably the first time we saw manta rays in the Maldives
That was cool.
that was super cool for me. Yeah, because we visited in November 2021, which is kind of shoulder season. So it's still like the water's still not super clear. It can be choppy and windy. And yeah, mainly you don't have amazing visibility as you do underwater in the high season. And so I remember we were getting in this water that wasn't super clear and the skies were a little gray and I didn't really know what to expect. And all of a sudden, like out of nothing, this huge thing popped out. Like it was bigger than anything I'd ever seen in the ocean. Like, I mean,
By a lot.
by a lot. Yeah, I mean, the most we've seen, and unfortunately, the Mediterranean is not that rich in wildlife, and so we've probably seen like a small stingray or a small fish. That was basically about it.
Yeah.
So when we saw this huge like manta ray, and they come really close because they're very curious animals and they're not shy at all, and they came really close, and then there was another one, and then another one, and it was like, wow, these are huge. Like what? There's so much cool stuff in the ocean. And yeah, that was our first actual like trip to a free dive, like an ocean destination where we could actually dive. And oh, it was amazing, so memorable.
That was pretty cool.
And I do remember that manta ray time for sure. But I would say maybe another one is Egypt.
Yeah, in general, dolphins interactions, we had some pretty insane dolphin interactions. We've been to Egypt 4 times now.
Something like that.
It's one of the destinations where we organize our group trips. So we went 1 year, and then after that, we organize group trips every year. And it's just a place like nothing else in the world. Like there's this huge bay, very offshore, so hard to reach, and there's every day hundreds of dolphins. Like literally 100 spinner dolphins. They're very beautiful.
In a perfect, like clear lagoon with sandy bottom. It's like it looks
just magical.
like coming out of a movie for real.
And the
insane.
clips are like half the clips, 95% of the clips that we have with dolphins are from there, and
Yeah.
they're
And I
just
think maybe the moment, the nicest moment was when we realized that the dolphins are actually excited to play, because I think like the coolest thing about wildlife, like interactions with wildlife, is when they want to interact with you, when they're like choosing to actively either like swim or dance around, like twirl around in the water, or like circle you or whatever. And when they're actively doing that, it's so much cooler than just seeing them swim by.
it's like playing with your dog
It's like,
when
yeah,
your
it's like
dog is a
playing with
dolphin.
right. And it's wild. It's not like you're holding him on a leash, it's choosing to be there. And that's amazing. Like, and dolphins are so playful. It's crazy.
We had some amazing times, both because those are spinners. Spinner dolphins are smaller, so
Yeah.
1.5 meters, so still fairly big animal, but not intimidating big. While there are also bottlenose dolphins, which are very common.
And they're double the size, like
They're 3 meters easy,
Yeah.
so very big animal. They move around very fast. And there was this one time in Sardinia where we had the chance, after going to Egypt and after being used to a little bit more to playing with dolphins. Still, spinners are very, they play, they go, they sleep, they do all of their business very close to you. And but then they get on and off the playing. Well, we had this encounter with bottlenose, which was truly insane because they stayed there over an hour playing just with us. There was nobody else in the water. And we kept literally calling, like you could feel like they were interested in the freediving part. Like the moment you were on the surface, they
kind of disappeared. Yeah, they would kind of swim away.
yeah, they just didn't care about you.
And
And then the moment you went down, they would turn around. Like you could see them turn around.
Yeah, like we have so many videos of like literally the dolphin swimming away. We go down, the dolphin turns around.
And they just check us out, and there's this big animal that you make eye contact with, and
Mhm.
you just nod with them, and you're like, I want to play, but I can't hold my breath long enough. Just give me a sec. I need to rest. And then as soon as you go up, they go away. And so if you're more than one person, then you can keep up enough with them that they keep staying interested and
Fighting for attention with dolphins.
yeah, and it's insane because sometimes we've gone there and we've seen basically probably the same pod. Some days they're not interested. Like there's no
Yeah,
way
they
you,
don't
you
care.
you can't even see them underwater. Like it's
Yeah.
too hard. Like they go away too fast, and if they don't choose you, especially those ones, like it's impossible to have any kind of interaction that's that you can share on a screen. Like maybe with your eyes you can see them far away, but not much. But when they're playful, like you literally go down to 10 meters, hold on to a rock, and I don't know, because they have this sonar thing, right? Dolphins, the orcas. So they scan the water, and they can probably recognize the fact that there's a pocket of air, which is our lungs, in the water somewhere. So they see us as similar beings,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if they can feel our energy as well, but definitely they can realize we are not fish and we are there,
We're very
and they're
similar to them.
interested. And so they come attracted from the blue, from where we can't see them, but we can hear them. And then they appear, right? And so the fact that you can call them that way, it's very cool. Because you literally go down on purpose. Like you don't see them, but you hear them. It's like, let me call them. And if they're interested, I go down, hold on to a rock, and you literally see them appear from the blue.
I've seen videos of dolphins reacting to pregnant women, like being aware that they have a baby. Yeah, because it's similar. Like, it's the same thing, and they have this echolocation thing where they can actually like perceive the baby inside the woman. Yeah, and I've seen like the dolphins like playing around and kind of like celebratory sort of thing, because yeah, the human is pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, when we go underwater, we are very similar. Like we are mammals. We are holding our breath. We have lungs. We have a heart. We have like a very similar structure. Sure, we have two legs and not fins, but in a way, like we are much slower than them. But they do recognize us as something that they're not used to in their environment, or something. They probably see that, they probably know that we're not dolphins. They're like, what is that thing very close to us? the same way we research, we find them and not just any other fish because they are so similar to us.
Yeah.
That is so fascinating. Oh my goodness, that is whoa, so cool.
Yeah.
Never heard that before. I saw y'all's videos of the dolphins and I thought that was so cool, but like I didn't think like oh my gosh, they literally were like playing like for fun. Like they want to
They
race
do.
you. And you said like for like an hour or something. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
In
my
Egypt, it can be like for even longer. I mean, you quit before you want to because you can't take it anymore.
Yeah, because in Egypt there's so many that they take turns. So you just gotta kind of figure out the way they're moving, and if there's not too many people that day, or I don't know, if they had a better meal that night and you have more energy, like there's a lot of things that we can't, control or know. But there are some days when they are more playful with us. Some days where they're more sleepy, some days where they have to reproduce more or go through their intestinal work.
In your face.
Well, that's awesome. And so on your group trips, have you had a group trip in Egypt like with the dolphins yet? Like the people on your trip were able to experience that as well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
No
That's like
way.
probably our best-selling trip, I think.
That's what I was saying. What a selling point. My
I think it's a pretty cool
Yeah.
selling point. Yeah. It goes sold out very, very fast because people have that exact experience. Like you don't need to be like if you're a very good free diver and you can read the dolphins well, then you can have a better interaction. But if you're a beginner, like literally a dolphin coming to you and nodding, and you nod it back, and he starts playing, like it doesn't get much cooler than that.
Yeah.
Well,
And you can
that's
do
so
that on the
true.
You can do that on the surface. Like you literally wait for them on the surface and they come and breathe this close to you. And then you nod at them like, are you ready to go? And he's like, yes, I'm ready to go. And you both go down together and twirl and play together. Like it literally happens.
And with freediving, have you seen any sharks a lot? Like, I'm sure you've seen them, but like, have you gotten like super close to shark like?
Well, freediving, not so much, honestly.
Sharks are very different beings.
Yes, they stay very deep, usually, and they're very shy, like so shy. So in freediving, it's harder to have the opportunity to actually see and hang around a shark. Whereas in scuba diving, it's much easier because you just go down, you will find the spots because sharks like strong currents. So usually there are some dive sites that are specifically for shark sightings because they have a lot of current. And you just go down, hook on wherever you are, and watch them swim by, basically. And in that case, we have seen very, very, very many. And
Very close.
yeah, and we've also seen a lot on baited dives.
Baited dive means when you put food in the water that attracts the shark. There are free diving baited dives as well around the world, but we haven't done them. Like there's a very famous one in Hawaii where you see all the tiger sharks, being redirected. That's a baited dive that they do, but we've never actually been to Hawaii. And there's a few other places where things similar to that happen. Yeah, and freediving, like if you want to see a reef shark, like in the Maldives, there's a lot of sharks, and you can see reef sharks which are small, like a meter and a half max, just pass by. You can't see him pass by, but maybe 15 meters deep. You go down to freedive with it, and immediately he goes away. Like he either turns around, he might do a circle around you, like max, but still very much,
At a distance.
at a respectful distance. They're very, very shy animals, and we are big animals. Like with sharks, like the big misconception is that they eat everything. Like they just see you, they eat you, like that. And it's not actually true. Like most sharks are much smaller than us, and you can imagine like their mouth is not like if you don't fit in their mouth, they're not gonna try and bite you. Like you're not gonna try and bite a live cow. Like if they cut it into a steak, then it's bite size, right? If it's the whole cow, like you're not gonna go there and bite it. Like the cows, it scares you, right? If you see a little animal and you're hungry, like then you can pick the fight that you're gonna win. And they don't think like they're gonna win the fight with us because of how big we are. That's most sharks.
That's most sharks, yeah. The bigger ones, of course, is different.
It's a different,
Crustacean.
tiger sharks, bull sharks, great whites, of course, are way larger than us. So
Like sharks in general, obviously, like you said, it's a big misconception, and that they're like gonna eat you. But I'm curious if like it took y'all some time to like overcome like the fear when you just started like free diving, or were y'all like really timid of the ocean? I feel like so many people are, or have you always just been like comfortable with all the other creatures and all of that?
Yeah, no, not at all. Like, I was super scared.
She's scared of
I'm scared of
basically
it.
everything,
Yeah.
not just in the ocean, like just everything, like a sound. Oh, what is that?
But no, yeah, we were definitely like, well, me more than him, of course, but fearful of deep blue waters, depth, everything. And I think the beautiful thing about freediving is that if you do it and also scuba, if you do it in the right conditions, I mean, which is the ideal conditions that anybody would look for on a first course, which is maybe a nice place without super big waves, clear waters, and a nice instructor, of course, which isn't the case for everyone. But that's the ideal condition to have a first lesson. And if you do that, you take it in such baby steps, it's just breaking all your fears before you even like feel them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, of course, it's scary to go down to even 5 meters deep in the deep blue. That is scary, of course, if you've never done it before, naturally. But if it's like a sandy floor and the water's just 5 meters deep, or maybe 10, and there's fishies on the bottom, or maybe you have corals and there's anemones and nemos and whatever, that's not scary at all. Like going down to 5 meters is like, I want to go deeper, I want to see more. So if you take it in baby steps, once you're confident at 5 meters with the corals and the sandy floor, then you can do 5 meters in the blue because it's comfortable, it's easy.
It's still 5 meters.
It's the same, yeah. And then of course, I will be honest, like if I had to swim like today I mean, I know the Mediterranean is very empty, so that doesn't worry me, but even in the Maldives, or I don't know, the Red Sea, or well, especially the Red Sea, actually, if I had to swim for a certain distance without a mask or without fins or anything in the blue, and I don't know what's under me, that would freak me out today as well. What keeps me like chill is the fact that I have a mask and I can see, and I know that like I know I know I can recognize what's around me, and as long as I can see what's coming at me or what is around me, I'm okay. And that's very true, because also even with the bigger sharks, which is probably the scariest thing for everyone, like eye contact is super important, and it makes a difference because they are big animals that are predators, and they have survived like millions of years, so they are super cautious, and we are big creatures too. So as he said, like they are going to like really think about it before they come and bite you.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Really, really big ones. I'm
yeah.
talking about the great white is probably the only.
It's different beast, and we haven't had an experience with it, so
You can't really swim with it.
there's people who have done it, but there's
Very
different conditions. Like the biggest thing is knowledge and experience.
knowledge, but also equipment in the sense. I would say.
Yeah.
Like having not being able to see underwater freaks you out right away. If you can see, I think also that helps.
Yeah, because and it doesn't have to be your knowledge. Like it can just be like I'm with a guide and I trust him in, saying we're safe. That is knowledge, and it's knowledge that gives you the confidence to be calm. And then the knowledge of your experience and the knowledge of your abilities.
Right.
Meaning if I'm going down, let's say I want to go down to 20 meters. And then all of a sudden a shark appears, because I know I'm in a place where shark exists. And they appear and they're looking at me and they're coming to me and they're coming to me and they're coming to me. Maybe it's a larger shark. Like I don't want to go up super fast, right? And so I have to have the mental preparation of saying, I'm 20 meters down, considering my breath hold and how the dive went, I can wait here at least 15 seconds before I have to go up. So I'll assess the situation first, instead of like panicking and going up, which may attract the shark even more, right?
Like a very rare situation.
Yeah. And we had two moments. I remember clearly my first shark that I saw. I wasn't scared because it was a bit into the trip of our first trip, and we saw a lot of things, and we were expecting to see a shark, and very, very small one, and I wasn't scared of it at all. While a few months prior to that, we saw
that was so funny.
2 small fish, like this big.
No, I think they were bigger.
Maybe this big.
Yeah.
Okay, fish, standard fish. I don't know the name in English, but standard
like
fish.
Snappers or something like
not
that.
Not predatorial fish, not not piranhas or anything.
Comparable to small tunas, I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, though, like we got freaked out so bad.
We were in the blue, very close to that photo.
We were just certified. Like it was one
We were
of the
alone.
first time we were diving in the blue by ourselves, and these fish came out of nowhere, and we were like,
What? Like we both look at each other like, and we were on the surface, like not even down.
yeah.
Like we were freaking out. And then they came close. It's like, okay, it's nothing much.
It is a lot about like taking it baby steps, because it's normal to be afraid of what you don't know and what you can't see and what you have never experienced before. So it's all about taking baby steps and slowly going a little bit further.
It is normal to be afraid because of the stories that we heard. And I think even if, the shark movie and everything and all those things that you can hear, like you can't see, like the ocean, even if in the best days, maybe you have 30-meter, 40-meter visibility.
That's still not a lot.
But if you're 50-meter away from a boat, like a shark, like you're not going to get to a boat before the shark gets to you if you see it, right? Then it's not going to chase you that way, and you have to know that. But at the same time, you don't have that comfort distance. Like if you're in the woods and you can see 1,000-meter and you see a bear 1,000-meter, like you turn around, like you choose another path. But it's not like I see it, I'm done. Like it's not that way in the water, and that's the unknown that scares you, because it's right there, like it's so close to you, the unknown, and then not being able to see it, that it can definitely be scary. Like it's totally understandable.
It was also like comforting now, like hearing y'all, because like I said, I definitely get scared of just like being in the middle of the ocean, my like feet just like dangling and looking around, it like freaks me out, like what can come. But now that you say that, I feel a lot better. And I feel like my also goal of the podcast is like so other people like can hear your story, so they can like get the courage and inspiration to also either do similar things or like go with y'all on your trip or something like that. And so I feel like y'all saying that really helps. Just realize like these things are so rare that happen, and like if you were just educate yourself.
And like personally for us, it's like a thing where if we have a guide and we're going with a guide, we can literally do just about anything.
Yeah, if a guide tells me to put a hand in the shark, I'll put a hand in the shark. Like if he says it, I'm cool. I don't care. The moment we are not with a guide, it's like comfort level, boom.
Right. If you're doing something you've never done before. So that's why, again, like doing things with people who've already done them, either in group trips or with dive guides or with instructors or whatever, but doing it with somebody else, it makes a huge difference, because you're not on your own. It's way less scary. And you're also relying on other people's knowledge and experience, because that makes a big difference, of course.
And also, I'm curious too if you have any of those like pocket memories or like super interesting stories from like either your group trips.
We've had somebody like freak out super bad before we went in the water with nurse sharks. Right. And that's actually really funny, because I mean nurse sharks are pretty big animals, like they're around 2 or 3 meters.
Yeah, those fat ones get 3 plus.
But nurse sharks are bottom feeders. I mean they kind of look like sharks, but also not. Like they're just fish in a way. And they're very harmless animals to swim with. So that's a very popular like excursion we do in the Maldives and in our Maldives group trip. And I remember this one girl, she was like terrified of the sharks, like terrified. But she wanted to go in, like she wanted to beat that. And so we went in together, and I was holding her hand. And actually, now that I think of it, she was the only one. Like on the previous trip, it happened as well. But anyway, we were holding hands.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah, we were holding hands, and she was like tugging at me like all the time, like, oh my god, the sharks. And then by the end of the dive, like we were in the water maybe an hour or something, she was going down, taking pictures right next to the sharks like this. You could see her like posing in the middle of the Sharknado sort of thing. And she was super chill and so happy by the end of the day, of course, because like she won that fear, And yeah, I think those are funny stories we got from the group trips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we never had a panic underwater.
No,
kind
that
of
really
situation.
Well, I mean, some people don't enjoy the scuba.
Yeah, that happens.
We always leave like, well, not in all the trips, but most trips have like a scuba trial. Like you try it out for the first time, if you're not certified. And some people, they just go for it because they're there and why not? But then they actually don't enjoy that much. Like they feel like the breathing is weird or whatever. which is why I'm always like, yeah, first learn to free dive well. Then if you want to, because you need the determination, go for scuba. There's not much technique to scuba, but
It's worth it.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's very different, very, very different activity, but it's definitely worth it. It's like it's the best tool to explore the deeper parts of the ocean.
I'd love to talk, like, transition a little bit and talk about y'all's film that you did, the short film, and just in general about y'all's experiences, like videographers and underwater photographers. But maybe if y'all first just like share about the short film you did and like how it all came to be and what made you want to do it. I watched it, by the way, and it was so good. Like, the shots were unbelievable, by the way, and like it was also like not even just like a marine life short film, but also just like it was so artistic as well. I feel like I could I would watch it in like one of those museums, like in one of those museums. It's just like it was beautiful, but I really loved it. But I'm
Thank
love to
you.
hear about
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
We're very, very proud of it. It came about in a very weird way, but we're very proud of how it turned out. And also 2 weeks ago, it won an award here in Italy.
Congratulations.
So we're very, very happy of that. It came about because we are friends with the management at the deep pool in Italy, which is the deepest thermal pool in the world, 40 meters deep. And they are running
a festival.
A festival.
Here, yeah.
And they invited us to participate in this festival because they added the reels category. So, we're famous for vertical videos, for short form videos. They invited us for that, but we were like, we want to do a proper thing. They invited us thinking like, just send us one of your videos, one of your best videos that you already have. Like, it was 2 weeks before the deadline. And we were like, we're here in September, Sardinia. Why not? Right?
Might as well try and film something longer.
That's how the decision to actually do it came about. And I don't remember how the idea came.
I think
The idea of the video.
the idea of the video was just to narrate the beautiful feelings that freediving gives to us. Because one thing maybe that isn't obvious if you've never tried it, is that freediving really gives you amazing sensations. It's a little bit to do with the breath hold, a little bit to do with the pressure of being underwater because water's heavy. And so there's really like a very unique set of feelings connected to being underwater.
Like biologically.
Yeah, biologically different. Exactly. And so there's actually beautiful feelings to freediving. And that was basically the goal, to kind of narrate how that makes us feel and what we love about it. And somehow we kind of wrote it out, and
we wrote the little picture
storyboard. We did a little storyboard to film all the shots. We were filming in an area we know really well, like both above and below the water, so we knew where to look for the different like landscapes, even underwater.
Yeah, it took us about a day of planning.
A day of underwater shooting and a day of above water shooting.
Half and
morning, half and half. And the worst struggle was the fact that it was late September.
It got bad weather the week before, and the water just dropped in temperature
so much. So I was freezing.
Because I was wearing like a full 3mm wetsuit. Like, I was chill.
He was happy. I wasn't on.
Behind the camera, but she was in front of the camera, and she had to wear the shorty because it looks much better and it fits much better in the vibe of the video. And so she was struggling.
Yeah, and it's not so much that as much as cold really like lowers my breath hold. Like, I can hold my breath much less if I'm cold, and the colder I feel, the worse my breath hold is. So that was probably the worst struggle, because like a sequence that I knew I could do on breath hold easily was like really difficult in that particular circumstance. And then we didn't have enough time to do everything properly, so we were out in the blue, as we were mentioning before. The blue is a little bit scary, and we had no line, and a line kind of helps you, to feel like, to be aware of how deep you are, and also like psychologically it's helpful. So we were out in the blue and there was nothing, and it was kind of like a little bit rushed, but I don't know how it turned out like the way it did.
Well, it,
So rushed.
it's probably because we
I was surprised
Yeah.
when we finished it. I'm like, wow, how did we do that?
like we didn't know we were preparing for this film, but we were actually preparing it for a few years. Like we knew every location to the, like we knew every rock
exactly where to do it.
where it was, and we could get shots like that at that time, exactly. And so we were very, like, even just two of us in the water, we knew we could drift with the boat, getting 5 shots in a row there, warm up again, get in the water, get 5 more shots, then change location, half an hour per location, and we got everything done super quickly. 2 days of editing.
The goal for this
Same.
year would be super cool to do a short movie like this for, like, in relationship with the dolphins, like with visuals on
Yeah.
dolphins.
I'm planning one with the dolphins. I would love to do one with the dolphins, one again in Sardinia,
maybe one with whales
and
as
one
well.
with whales in Polynesia.
It's a big hole in our, like, experiences
In our curriculum.
Yeah, in our curriculum.
Oh my gosh, y'all totally should. You should just do a whole one all about the the relationship with humans and the marine life. Like, maybe to help people like me overcome the fear. But that would be so cool. Oh my gosh. And you could have some with like the sea of fish. I don't know, everything. Like I can see it. I can't believe it just took y'all only like 2 days of filming, because it looks like a whole production. I mean, it was, but like I feel like that takes months and months and months. Like people that I know that do short films, it's like sometimes takes years of just content and stuff. So you should be really proud of yourselves. And I don't want to award.
It's just us, no bubbles, no scuba gears. Some of the videos that you see online are filmed with a mix of freediving and scuba diving, because it allows you to do some other things.
For yourself,
yeah. We take pride in having it done, fully on a breath hold, both the girl in front of the camera and the guy behind the camera. Our connection underwater, the way we communicate underwater, it's quite honed in through the years. And
but we have our own, like, series of noises and clicks, way better than dolphins. We could speak like amazing underwater now.
That's hilarious. And you'll also like take underwater photography for other people, for clients, or do y'all just do it for your account as well?
Yeah, we do it well. We do as well for others. We of course adapt the style to match the clients and the client's needs. We are ambassadors of a few brands that we work with, both for creating content for them and for promoting them on our platforms. But we have also created content for hotels, tourism boards, that you don't see if you just look at our page. Like you might see us somewhere else and you're like, I know those guys. Yeah, that's when we create content for other brands.
That's awesome. And the underwater like camera, is it like hard to use, would you say, or is it really just like pressing a button? Because the camera looks so fancy itself.
So you really need to know photography well, and then you really need to know freediving or scuba diving well. And then you need to learn underwater photography. It's like putting all of these two things together and then more, because
you need to have the first two at a good enough level where you can tweak things. You're not just fixing mistakes and shooting, the base, but you're actually, putting creative effort into your choices and how the videos come out to be able to do it underwater and to adapt to the environment. On the other hand, it's easier sometimes because it's just pretty underwater. Unusual can look like these light rays above the water. These would need a studio light, like a proper, underwater. It just looks like this.
Yeah.
Like if you know where to point and how to adapt to it, there's this beauty, this softness of the light that just helps you if you know what you're doing.
But yeah, you need to be solid on freediving to be able to use that big camera, because I mean, even just me, like I struggle so much compared to him because he's so used to it. It's like an extension of his hand. And for me, like it's heavy, it creates a lot of drag. I'm not comfortable filming at deep depths with that camera at all. And my videos are always like a little bit shaky because it does have a little bit of stabilization, but it's so easy to be shaky, It's not like an action camera, so it's a very, very, well, yeah, significantly less forgiving.
Yeah. But for most people on social media, especially on social media, like after, if you can edit, it's almost hard to tell the difference. Like we've done a couple of comparison videos for a standard shot
in good conditions.
like it's with the compression that you get on social media.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
It's very, very difficult to tell the difference.
Of course, in harder conditions where the lighting is less favorable, where I don't know,
if you want to zoom in
visibility.
tight to small animals, then there's something that you just cannot do with an action camera. But many of the videos you see on our pages are taken with action cameras.
Yeah.
Sometimes we mix and you really can't tell the difference.
Yeah, we mix them all the time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I never thought about, the logistics of like the shakiness. Like, because those photos are so mesmerizing, like the ones that you like behind you. But I never thought about like if you're filming like the videos, like like you don't have a tripod to just stick in the sand, you know?
You have a drone. You basically have a drone, meaning you fly in the water. So there's this extra possibilities of movement that are free in video, meaning above the water you would need a drone, or you would need a proper film setup where the camera is rotating around the subject. And here you just swim, right? So if you can hold your breath and move it steadily through the water without jittering about, then you have even an extra level of creative possibility in video that you can unlock with movement.
But my photos of him are always shittier than his.
But another like thing that I'm curious about is like marine conservation, but specifically if like I'm curious if it's like in such a short time from when you started freediving until now, if you've been able to like see a shift with like coral reef bleaching or anything. And if not, but I would love to just hear your thoughts about like, I don't know, if you're super passionate about coral reef restoration or protecting the turtles, or if there's like one like niche thing in marine conservation, I would be like really keen to hear about that.
Yeah, so we've been exposed to different kinds of marine conservations. We don't have an NGO. We don't have a one particular thing that we focus on. We try in general to promote sustainable tourism in a way that's not bringing hundreds of people at a time to look at one dolphin and chase it out and stuff like this. We have been exposed to some coral bleaching and coral deaths, but it's a very hard, I think it's harder than most people portray it as topic to understand and to figure out, really. I give you a very real example. In the Maldives, we have done a dive this year which is a regular dive that we always do and we have done for a few years. And this year it was dead. Like the whole coral is not bleached, dead.
Completely.
And so we talked to the guides, and they were like, yeah, that side, because the Maldives are atolls, so they're a group of islands
in kind of like an oval shape or circular shape, and
the
the monsoons come from the two different directions. So like really quickly in dry season you will get winds and currents coming from this side, and in wet season you will get them from the opposite side. So that brings a big change to the underwater
world.
Yeah, on both sides, right?
On the seasons, and the animals move with that as well. And what all the guides said was that on that side of the atoll this year, it got a big drop in coral life. But on this side of the atoll, it was much better. Like it got significant improvement from the previous years. So it's always hard.
Because there was a shifting current.
Because there was a shifting current. So the temperature on this side was lower, while on the other side was higher compared to previous years. And it's always hard when when you look at news and you look at reports. Like, is it a local thing? Is it just a normal transition into food being moved by currents in the water? Is it actually an impact that we can stop, or is it just natural behavior of maybe not all the corals can be healthy at the same time in all the world, in all the parts, and or they can be on, and they're literally like 20 minutes boat ride away. It's not like Maldives is not okay, and the Caribbean is very, very local, the difference that can be from one reef to another.
And there's a lot of cycles also. Our experience in the Red Sea has been very different in different years. Like 1 year when we visited,
I've seen very good footage from this year.
Yeah.
Not that we haven't yet been this year, but I've seen very, very good regrowth this year.
Yeah, it's been going. It has been going in cycles. Like the first year we visited was stunning, like incredible coral life, like nothing we'd ever seen before and nothing we've seen since, honestly. And the subsequent 2 years was like
a little bit worse.
a little less, a little less, a little less bright, a little less colorful. I mean, nothing significantly like, oh my God, this is dead. But thankfully, but less. And now apparently, as he said, it's getting better, and hopefully we'll see maybe this winter the results of it going back and being better. I mean, we've done some we've done some coral restoration in the Maldives with a hotel we were working with. That was super cool and super fun. And it's actually a really cool activity for anyone to do when they're traveling. Like, it's really nice and a small way to like give back to the ocean. Because it is true that anyway, many of the hotels in these beautiful places have blasted through coral in the past. They don't do it as much now because it's not well seen, obviously. But they are trying to make amends for it. And this winter, we are planning to work with another restoration project in French Polynesia. So that's going to be also pretty exciting. But yeah, that's a little bit of our experience on corals. And other than that, what else have we been? Well, litter is probably the worst thing, like for me personally, to see in the ocean. Like literally seeing all the plastic and the stuff people dump in the ocean. And I also believe it's again a little bit more of a complicated topic than many people express. It's not like just telling people to stop using straws. That's not going to solve the problem. Like
especially in the Western world, like if we meaning Europeans, Americans, take pretty good care of stuff that goes into the garbage. Like
we're super careful, and yeah,
as good as it can be with technology today, but as soon as you travel, you realize that it's not the straw coming from Europe that's polluting the Philippines. It's the straw that the guy next to you is just dumping when it's done with it. And that comes down to, you know, solving bigger issues, because if they can't build a house for their family to live in, they don't care about the straw going into the ocean, right? So like, you know,
so it's a bigger problematic, and for that reason we do like to support. We've worked with for Ocean before. We love to support them because they actually remove plastic from the ocean, and that's significant impact, immediate.
Yeah, and they also do it through financing local work,
right?
So they do it locally.
So it's sustainable, and it also educates local people to be responsible about this, right? And to care.
Yeah.
Because also another thing we've noticed is that many places we visit, the local people are not as interested in the ocean as tourists are. You know, like we go to like a really cool example is like there's this small island in the south of the Maldives. It's called Fuvamola. And until like 10 years ago, the locals were terrified of the ocean, like terrified. Nobody would even swim, you know? And now it's a really cool diving hub for sharks. And the locals are also getting into it. But, you know, they were never exposed to that kind of thing before. So, of course, it's not like you need to kind of like show them the beauty of what they need to protect, you know? And I think that's something we love to do, like show people how beautiful it is underwater so that they're inspired to do their little part, because in the end, that's all you really need. Just like be careful with what you use and don't throw it out, and just be responsible.
Yeah. And now in this exact moment we are, I don't know when the podcast will be released, but in the moment of recording, we are doing a challenge for Sea Shepherd. And
they're also another immediate impact, kind of like the improvement sort of
not awareness
activity.
It's more of, you know, do things, remove people from illegal fishing. Like they're doing a lot of stuff that is stuff that nobody else does, because they have boats and they can stop literally boats that are illegally fishing in waters around the world. And so they are definitely an easy one. Like if you want to donate anything,
we're saying we're joining in their challenge right now. They're running a fundraiser. It's called Fit for the Ocean, and if you want to join, you just need to like decide your own goal. In his case, he's doing it. It's going to be 5 minutes of static breath hold. So yeah, he's doing that, and it's a fundraiser, and anybody who wants to join, it's going to be active. It's active for another like 2 weeks, I think. So
until the 26th of June. But you can donate to Sea Shepherd, even, you know, not through our account. It doesn't it doesn't matter to us. Like as long as you support a cause that you feel good
Yeah.
with, it's okay.
Oh, thank you for sharing all of that. I'd love to share your best like life lessons and advice for the listeners to live like life passionately and be aligned with what they do.
We could do a whole podcast about just this. But very quickly, I would say I don't think anybody is can be really prepared for any proper
Yeah.
challenge in their life.
Like,
Like you can't. I don't think you can be prepared 100% to have a kid. I don't think you can be prepared 100% to completely change your career, to move somewhere else.
right.
Like you might think you are, and that just probably means you don't know enough of what's coming
Waiting.
to know that you don't know.
Mm.
And on the other side, like that was like you're never going to be super ready where you feel like 100% confident of making the leap, but you have to be willing to know that you're stepping into something that's probably 10 times bigger than you think, and 10 times, at least 10 times harder, and it's going to take at least 10 times more than you think to achieve what you want to get.
So you need the determination for starting.
Yeah, of
And
just
like the belief that you're gonna go with it from the beginning to the end, and you're gonna make it whatever happens.
and you really can do whatever you believe in. Like
Yeah.
you can, as long as you're willing to not give up the dream,
Right.
to keep believing that you can make it, and to not listen to all the people that say you can't do it, you have to stop, you like it's been enough. Like
Yeah, it's a mixture of like not listening to people telling you can't do it, and a mixture of being humble and realizing maybe I don't know how to do this, so I should learn how and then try again.
yeah, an advice I would give is to always know
Yeah.
who you're talking to in a humble way, meaning if they are an expert at something, even life, and they have a respectful life and they live by a
That
good
you
morals,
respect.
yeah,
That's the thing.
then you can listen to their advice in the field that you think they are more expert than you at. But then at the same time, if they don't have exactly everything you want right, then there are things that either they don't want or they don't know of that you want. And so for those things, you don't have to say like this person knows more than me on X, and so they know more than me on anything, right? But at the same time, as she said, you have to be humble in saying that you definitely don't know everything, and you definitely don't know anything more than the person you're talking to, like on every aspect. Like they know for sure something that you don't know. And if you start with that mindset of being able to pick brains here and there, but at the same time not letting them drag you down if they feel like what you're trying to do is impossible, that is a good way to move back and forth into
Right.
raising your knowledge, raising your skills, picking from different fields, but still keep moving forward, and not just move backwards into actually I didn't know anything, it's better if I don't do anything.
I think that if we could go back, I don't know if you agree, but if we could go back to when we started, I think the one advice I would give myself is treat this as more of a business than just as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, what we did in the beginning. And we kind of lost track of the fact that we needed to give something to be able, like, give value, give something to be able to get something in return. And that's how business works. So, and initially it was just for us. It was during the pandemic and everything. So it was a weird time and we were young and naive. We weren't very aware of what we were doing. But yeah, if I could go back, I would say you need to have in your mind exactly like what you are giving to people.
Yeah. You need to figure out that at one point you could give something to people.
Right. Maybe not right away.
And
but
hopefully it's not too far away.
Right.
Like you don't need to have a business plan perfectly laid out on day one. You don't need to have products ready on day one or stuff like this. You just need to have a direction where if you want to make it a lifestyle, it means it has to provide income. Because if not, it's not a lifestyle.
That's probably something I would say to somebody who's already in the business. And for anyone who's interested in trying in exploring the underwater world, our advice would be go take that first freediving lesson.
That's all
It's
you
gonna change
That's
everything.
all you need.
Yeah.
First freediving or first scuba diving lesson, like it's gonna change your life.
Choose a nice place, please. Choose a nice place.
Yeah.
Where it's not choppy and windy and murky sea. Just somewhere nice where it's clear and it's pretty, and really just take the first lesson.
Yeah,
and
if you love to
it's
travel,
from there.
if you love to travel, like it's just a cool trip. Like even if you do one trip a year, it's just a cool addition to do 3 diving days within your trip wherever you go.
Like literally 70% of our world is underwater. Like 70. That's a lot.
And most of the good diving,
Yeah.
and most of the good diving destinations are in tropical places where you have nice beaches. I mean, it could be worse. Could be worse, yeah.
Yeah.
One more advice that I would give is also to enjoy the road. It sounds cliche, right? To enjoy the road and not just the destination. But it's almost necessary to get to the destination to enjoy the road, like to feel satisfied with what you have, to realize that what you have on day 10 is what you were dreaming on day 1, even if it's not the end goal. It does take some time to realize this, but if you can do this and you can be satisfied with where you are at every given moment, like your progress is going to go so much faster, and because you're enjoying it so much more.
Oh, thank you so much for that advice. It's awesome. I really love, like, especially what you said about like enjoying the process. Because for me, I sometimes lose sight of that.
You got to be able to slow down to look at the big picture and realize how many dreams you actually have achieved.
We're by all means not perfect at this at all.
No.
It's something we like strive to achieve as often as possible.
Like you don't need to slow down that much to have enough time to realize how cool it is, whatever it is you're doing. And people always, again, very cliche, but always underestimate what they can do in 10 years, but always overestimate what they can do in 1. So you're always going to feel shit if you look at just what you were dreaming like 6 months ago, because you probably haven't achieved it. But if you look back further in a year, 2, 3, then you're like, wow, I was that person. Now I'm here. It's like, it's insane, right? But if you think about, your January goals for 2025, and you're like, I actually stopped working out. Shit. Or, I gained a pound or whatever it was, the goal. I'm not actually doubling my money as I plan to by June. You're always going to feel bad if you look back at the goals that you had last week. But if you look back further, then you're always moving. As long as you keep the same direction-ish, you're always going to be moving way further than you think on the long run.
Yeah, like I didn't know y'all were gonna get an award for the short film last year because it was just like a two-week in advance. You had no idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap up that I didn't ask you about, or like a story or something that you wanted to share?
An easy way to start, besides our own online program, is in freediving and scuba diving. Is, as you said, the breath hold can be intimidating as you start, and committing to you're taking a trip to Indonesia or somewhere in the Southeast Asia or the Caribbean. You're spending a lot of money for a week. You don't want to risk half of your activities to be terrible because you're not ready for the underwater experiences, right? So freediving can be much easier if you can hold your breath before you start freediving. So if you do, and you can train that at home from your sofa, from your couch, from wherever you are, just holding your breath. And there are online programs that help you do that. And we have one. We can even maybe give you a gift discount code that you can keep on the description of the podcast, so all of your listeners can get a discount code. And that's a very easy way to approach the sport in a super hyper safe way from your home, so that when you get to the water the next time, you are more confident to take on the first course, or just enjoy the water more, knowing your skills are higher and more advanced. Yeah. But if not, just get out there, do your first course. It's definitely worth it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Will do. I'll check out everything and link everything below. And where can people like follow you or keep up with you? Sign up for your trips, all of that.
We share almost everything on Instagram. We have also a TikTok account in Italian for our Italian speakers and in English for foreigners. And we have a YouTube, Italian and English. Instagram is double language, so it's just one account. But yeah, Bonny and Gava is always the
Everywhere.
Instagram, everywhere.
On the website,
We
you
have a
can find
website. You can find all the details there as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have
email list that you can sign
email
up to.
list for expeditions, for group, for online courses, product releases. Our broadcast channel does the same as well. We communicate everything there too.
Wherever you basically search Bonny and Gava, you'll find us.
Perfect. Well, thank you. It's been such a pleasure. I've learned so much from you guys and really appreciate you taking the time, share your story, inspire other people, and help them get out in the world, overcome their fears to see the underground, to see the ocean one.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise, it's been a pleasure to talk.
It was very fun.
Thank
Thank you for inviting us.
It was super fun.